And now, in the Western Conference semifinals, we have got the classic showdown that everybody wanted to see. We've got the Lakers versus the Warriors. Now, this has a legacy and a rivalry in and of itself, not just the Lakers. I mean, everybody wants to beat the Lakers historically, and everybody wants to beat the Warriors as of the past decade. But the LeBron-Steph Curry matchup, we know what that represents. Now, Steph Curry has him as a number in the finals. He's 3-1 against him, but LeBron beat Steph and company by 3 points in the play-in game in the play-in tournament in 2021. If you remember, that's when LeBron hit the three-pointer right in Steph's face, and he was saying that I can't even see because Draymond had poked him in the eye. We are going to be in for a very fun series. Obviously, with that history, it's going to be impossible for it not to be fun and entertaining, but also the way that these two teams play, because Golden State wants to get up and down the court. They want to shoot a bunch of threes. They want to get into a shootout with their opponents, and that's how they want to win games. The Lakers don't mind running, but also they don't mind slowing it down, and especially in the playoffs, we're going to see LeBron ease this game in the half court, and we're going to see their defensive abilities shine through. Anthony Davis just averaged 4.3 blocks per game in the last round. Truly one of the most dominant defensive performances in the playoffs over the past decade, 2 decades even. So that's going to be interesting to see how those styles bounce off of one another. Now, both teams should have reason for optimism. We can start with the Warriors here. Obviously, they had won only 2 games in the regular season. They were 2-20 against teams that were 500 or better, and they were playing on the road. And one of those wins was against the Kings when Sabonis, Fox, and Monk didn't play. So really, they only had 1 win all season of that magnitude. They just went on the road twice, got 2 wins in that round 1 against the same Kings, and they beat them on the road in Game 7 in what was the most hostile environment in the NBA this season. So they're going to be buoyed with all of that spirit, and they're going to be able to go back to their home court for Game 1, where they take on the Lakers, who they have infinite familiarity with LeBron, and not infinite, but they have a great deal of experience with Anthony Davis and some of the other players on this roster. And they played with D'Angelo Russell. Let's not forget, he played for the Warriors for his seasons, so they know how he operates. And D'Lo isn't great in the playoffs, although he was sensational in Game 6 against the Grizzlies. But the Lakers, they were 3-1 against the Warriors this season. They were 3-0 against them after they made the flurry of moves at the trade deadline, picking up D'Lo and Vanderbilt and Beasley, getting rid of Russell and Beverly, et cetera, et cetera. The Lakers have also been pretty dominant in these playoffs. Now, I know they haven't been scoring a ton of points, but they have the second best overall net rating. And believe it or not, the Lakers and the Warriors are almost identical in offensive rating. They're 8th and 9th, I believe. They're either 8th and 9th or they're 9th and 10th. But they're right there within a point of one another. And the Warriors' defensive rating is really bad. It's not even comparable, which is why the Lakers outshine them so much in net rating. But I just think it's interesting that the Warriors just played a 7-game series against the Sacramento team that plays absolutely no defense. Meanwhile, the Lakers, who started on the road, I mean, the Warriors started on the road as well against the Kings, but the Lakers started on the road against Memphis, who had the best home record in the NBA. Memphis allowed the lowest field goal percentage to any team in the NBA in the regular season, and they have basically the same rating as them. It doesn't line up, and it shouldn't line up. And it's definitely a credit to the Lakers. It's a plus in their favor. And again, they're so dominant defensively, we know that's not even going to be close. Now, the Lakers' one weakness in their defense is their perimeter defense. We saw that they were able to do a great job on the interior, completely disrupting Memphis's attacks to the rim. LeBron actually did a phenomenal job guarding Jaren Jackson Jr. in that series, which I don't think is something that most people expected. Jared Vanderbilt did a decent job chasing Ja Morant around the perimeter. Is he going to be chasing around Steph Curry? He might. And to be fair, I think he could have a quote-unquote easier time. It's not going to be easy, and we've seen Steph is kind of impossible to slow down anyway. But I think he could have an easier time chasing Steph, knowing that Steph isn't as much of a threat to blow by him and take it to the rack. So that's all going to be very interesting to monitor. LeBron only averaged 22 points per game in the first round. He was the leading scorer on the Lakers, but weirdly, he never led them in scoring in one of their victories. Now, it looks to me like LeBron is injured, and it almost seems like he was saving himself for defense because he didn't have his offense going. No matter what happens with your defense, how good it is, the Warriors, they're going to find their shot at some point in this series. So I'm just wondering, is LeBron, who shot 19% from 3 in the first round, the career worst for a series, is he going to be able to regain his offensive momentum? Because if not, the Lakers are going to be in trouble. I'll say that right away. The Lakers, back to singing their praises, though, they have the best record in the NBA since the trade deadline, and they're well rested. They got a couple of days extra rest, and I know that they have to go on the road, but both teams play in California, so it's really not a big deal for them. That is vital for an older team, and the Warriors are old too. Let's not get it twisted, but the Lakers especially, because we've seen those nights where they come out and they just have no energy. So both teams have their advantages in this series, but I think it's leaning towards the Lakers. I think stylistically they just have the better matchup. I think they're going to get a little boost in game one because they do have that extra rest. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lakers take game one. I'm not sure if I'm going to go full on money line, but at +4.5, I would definitely take them in that spot. So that's going to be my pick for game one. And like I said, as of right now, series pick is the Lakers. I will update and evaluate that after we see a couple of games because, again, these teams are just so different that you have to see them play one another to fully assess what's actually going to happen. But that's where I'm at with them right now.